a silly question, but did your parents like start you out with it? I'm going to teach you how to play the guitar, or put you in piano, or anything like that, or is it just something that you're just kind of born with? I know people that are talented are obviously born with something, but I mean, did somebody start you out that way, or did you just kind of be, like, hey, my friend's playing the guitar, I'd like to do that, or?
Yeah, I mean, a lifetime of listening and thinking, hey, I can do that maybe. My sister actually got me into music. We wanted to form a band when we were like 8 or 9 years old, and I didn't even want to do it. She's like, no, let's get a guitar, let's do this, and so from that on, I just loved it.
With me, my dad always played when I grew up. My dad was in like the local Detroit blues scene. But one of the things I appreciate he did with me is he never really, obviously I always had access to a guitar, which is nice, and that's a privilege, I know that. But he never really sat me down and like showed me stuff. He's just like, here. And when I was a baby, growing up a kid, I just liked to make noise. And at some point, I put things in perspective and I started learning chords really slowly, and it was just kind of self-taught. And he'd show me things here and there, but if I couldn't keep up with him, he'd get frustrated. So, I mean, it was nice having access to a guitar growing up, but that was the best thing he could have done for me, is he just let me do what I wanted to do, and that was definitely helpful.
Yeah, I don't think it should ever really be forced upon anyone to play music, but I think usually if you, I don't know, like I found a guitar in my attic and then just went with it and never looked back, I guess. But I feel like my sisters all were forced to take piano lessons, and then they stopped as soon as they could, kind of thing. So.
I think it's a big thing with like kids growing up. Sometimes when they're forced to take lessons, they just get impatient. My biggest advice, to a young kid would be just give them a guitar, or give them access to some kind of instrument. Just let them fool around with it, let them find their own way, because that's how you're going to find your own style, or just have fun with it, just have a ball.
I took lessons when growing up. I've been playing piano since memories were starting to form. My sisters played, and there was always a piano in the house. I played pretty seriously. I took lessons and stuff up until I was going to high school, and then I stopped playing because in high school you do stupid things. I was like, I hate stuff. So I stopped playing, and up until high school I played all classical, sit in front of the tables and memorize it kind of music. And then in high school I sort of rediscovered the piano. Oh, this is fun. And then when I went to college, I met the guys and started a band. And now I play music a lot.
I started at the age of 4 years old, and I've been playing music all my life. In fact, that's where I am. I'm a full-time musician all my life. As far as that go, I've had other jobs. Actually, I got my own business. I'm one of the co-founders of the Artist Consortium, and what that is a multimedia studio. Does commercials, movies, and plus also I have my own recording studio. So music has always been influenced. I started off with classical music. I'm very classically trained. I play mostly almost all instruments, from bassoon, oboe, clarinet, flute, as you guys know, percussions, bass. So I've had all of these after-school classes and stuff as far as that go. Sports, never had time. I was always playing music, so I guess that was my substitute for sports. But music has always been, that upper thing that I always had to do. While everybody was out getting in trouble, I'm in somebody's class. No, that's wrong. No, go back to the first. That was me.
She has of the instruments that you all play, and like he was talking about playing a lot of different instruments, I've tinkered around with a piano, a mandolin, and a flute, and a fiddle, and just all kinds of little things like that. And it's like I can find them out, but like a guitar, forget it. Is there any other instrument that you all have tried that just you can't convert, being able to play one thing into another? Just any of it.
I can't sing worth a damn. I don't even want to try. No. Singing.
Anything that you blow into.
Yeah,
I
I can't do that. Trumpets, French horns, forget it.
Oh, I got an answer for that. I have never played a didgeridoo.
Yeah, didgeridoo.
That one. I have never played one of those, and I figured that's going to give a challenge to me. You know, I'll probably have to woodshed for about a month or two. Come back around and play it like this. Hey, I can play it. But that would be the one for myself.
Yeah, the brass and woodwind instruments are really hard to pick up because it's like you have to get your lips in like the perfect position, and if you don't, then you're just blowing air.
I found kissing helps that out. I was just putting it out.
It works both ways.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it takes a while, and then when you figure it out, it's like unlocking a puzzle or something. Oh, this makes sense. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Horns are hard. I used to play clarinet, so like my sister used to play the oboe, so I understand woodwinds like a little bit. But then, I mean, yeah, the embouchure of woodwinds or horns is like ridiculous. It's just something you got to practice, of course. But
It's training.
yeah, I also I never took piano lessons, and I learned my theory kind of on the guitar, so I'm all the time just applying things to the piano, sort of fumbling around on there, don't really know what I'm doing. But
I have a question. What's your process? What is each of your processes for writing songs or for creating, either do you create beats first or do you create songs first or do you pick a set of...
Did we answer that kind of?
Did you answer that?
Kinda, yeah.
That's
That's
the
the
most
sorry about
common
that.
question.
Okay, sorry.
Like people always ask that, like, oh, when you write songs, like, do you come up with the lyrics first, or do you come up with the music first, or do you come up with the beat, and then like, add the instruments? Like, what's the order? Like, everybody's really hung up on order, and it's always different. Like,
Individual.
Yeah. I think it's important not to have a process,
Yes.
basically.
Process will restrict you.
Yeah, well, in fact, I think once you realize you have a process, you need to change it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah, but it always just comes from like a feeling. Like,
Yes.
like I want to make something that feels like this. You have this like idea in your head. How it evolves from there is like.
Up to the individual.
Like a lot of times it's just a function of like, oh, there's a guitar right here. Like, so I guess I'll write the guitar part for that.
Whichever you get first, the feeling that comes to you first, it might be a bass line or a beat or a lyrics. Whichever occurred to you at that particular time, envelop it. Develop it, envelop it. You know what I mean? And the other stuff will start coming into place. Okay, well, I got this part. Oh, the bass will sound good with this, and then this, the next thing you know, you got a song.